Texans and go over their team and how their outlook is going to be. Houston Texans, it's a team that it really fell to how good their quarterback was, and Deshaun Watson turned out to be a really good quarterback. I think better than what many people were probably predicting outside of certain Houston Texan fans. But once he kind of fell out, everything just really fell apart much quicker than anticipated. So, Deshaun Watson unfortunately suffered a non-contact torn ACL during practice one day. So that's going to be that's a tough injury to overcome. I mean, the contact torn ACL, you have a certain timetable, and usually the player that does suffer, they usually don't lose too much, but from a non-contact standpoint, it's tougher to come back from. Not impossible, just a lot tougher. And with his type of specialty being a mobile quarterback, that is another can of worms that hopefully he'll not only maintain it, but show he can still be an effective quarterback. I don't know if he's participated in minicamp yet. Haven't paid too much attention to the Texans minicamp yet, but I think there's good faith and good hope there. So everything's going to hop on Deshaun Watson. Now, the running backfield, it's good. Lamar Miller is probably manning the main slot. They also got Dante Foreman and Alfred Blue in that running backfield. I actually really like Dante Foreman to really probably take over the running backfield. I know Lamar Miller said they would like to sign Adrian Peterson because it could really use a goal line back, but I don't know. I really like Dante Foreman to Foreman. I don't know why I'm saying Dante. It's Devonta to really take over that running backfield. He has the size. I think he surprised me a lot with his speed. He can catch the ball pretty well. I won't be surprised if some point by week 9, pretty sure, by like week 9 or so, he takes over for Lamar Miller, and Miller is relegated to the bench. And then looking at the wide receiver core, it's a very talented receiving core manned by the All-Pro wide receiver Deshaun Watson, and Will Fuller does very well as the deep threat of the group. I think the surprise slot receiver Bruce Ellington has really surprised me. They got a few other players, but I think those main three and perhaps Braxton Miller make up a very good receiving core. I thought this team's receiving core was very talented based on what I saw, and it's still very talented. I do think Deshaun Watson did make them a little better. I think DeAndre Hopkins is one of the best receivers in the NFL, if not the best. And I think with Watson, if Watson can come back and still play to the high level that he did in his rookie season, this Texans offense won't miss a beat. Now, the offensive line, this is what plagued them the entire season. The offensive line was terrible from position to position, but they did get some players. They signed Zach Fulton and Sino Clemente to man the interior. I know if you look at it, it probably says Clemente's line best tackle. I've watched Clemente play for a while. He's probably going to be manning the interior. He's a good rotational lineman. But I think he'll start at guard, probably beat out Jeff Allen for his position. You're going to have Fulton play the other slot with Nick Martin. So you're going to have a good interior. Now, tackles is going to be very questionable. I project the starters might be Julian Davenport, who they drafted last season, and maybe David Quisenberry. But the tackle depth right now, it's very questionable. I think also maybe another lineman that could step up might be Derek Newton. I'm not sure if he's still on the team. I'm very sure he is, but I don't see for some reason his name's not pop up. Maybe they cut him, release him, etc. But hopefully Someone will tell me in the comments that he's still on there. If not, opens up way more holes in this team. But looking at their offense, it showed what that offensive line was the reason why Watson was propelled in. His mobility, getting outside of the pocket, extending plays because the offensive line couldn't protect their quarterback for more than half a second. Really showed why Watson had to be the starter for the team and not Savage. And now that Savage is gone, there's a little competition for a backup, but I wouldn't worry about it too much unless Watson suffers a setback of some sort. This is a very good offense. And it all just like with the Colts, it hinges on their quarterback coming, not only recovering from the injury, but still maintaining that his talented self that so many people loved. And I think if Watson does show he can recover from that knee injury, this could be a probably 10th best offense. Looking at their defense it's good. It's got a little flaws, but hey, it's not bad. I think they're still playing technically a 3-4 scheme, probably more with a 2-4-5. It's a very complicated scheme, but hey, if it works, I won't complain. So the starting forward might be DJ Reader playing the nose. JJ Watt, hopefully he does not continue to suffer that back injury. Davion Clowney is probably going to man an edge. With maybe Whitney Marcellus also playing edge. So it's not bad. It's a pretty good team with maybe Carlos Watkins rotating every now and then with his team. And then you look at the linebacking core. It's probably going to be mostly be Bernardrick McKinney and Zach Cunningham. Very athletic linebackers with great size. They might have a third linebacker play every now and then, but it might just be like Marcellus who might get kicked at linebacker, or Clowney, etc., etc. They got a nice set of rotation they want to try. Both positions are very good. The depth it's okay. I think the depth for the defensive line is a little better. It's a little better than the linebacking core, but considering many of the rotations they're going to do, I think this is negligible at best. I think they'll be just fine. On the cornerback backfield, they still retain Jonathan Joseph. He's probably going to be their main corner, even at 34, 36. Kareem Jackson might actually get propelled down the backfield. They don't, because of all the players they brought in. They signed Aaron Colvin. They might throw Kevin Johnson to become the starter. Hopefully he'll stay healthy for once. They also drafted Justin Reed and signed Tyrann Mathieu, who could probably play the slot corner when they needed to. So this is going to be an interesting defensive backfield to see come together. Corey Morris still going to play probably safety with Reed probably thrown in every now and then. And the Reed pick is starting to look smarter with Andre Howe, unfortunately being diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. Hopefully he will recover well. This is a crowded backfield for this team. Unfortunately, there might be some players that will just be on the chopping block. Maybe Treston Deku. Maybe some other players. I wouldn't be surprised they try and trade Kareem Jackson at some point. But it's a pretty good backfield. Just hopefully durability stays the same, and hopefully Jonathan Joseph does not suffer a huge setback. But this defense, I think it's going to be pretty much middle of the road unless J.J. Watt can play all 16 games without much limitation. Hopefully he does recover from that back injury. Hopefully he does show he's still one of the best all-around defensive linemen in the NFL. I wouldn't be surprised if he racks up 20 sacks in 2018. But yeah, I do see this team kind of being middle of the road. Again, it'll depend if Deshaun Watson. It does depend if Deshaun Watson starts at quarterback because that offense stays on the field for basically a minute for every drive. Regardless if they score points or not, it's going to be hectic for the defense. Well, actually, it doesn't matter if they score. If they scored, if they don't score, they just basically go 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. That defense could be on the field more and more each time, and it's not gonna do well. It's gonna suffer as a result. So this team is decently set up. It could pose a playoff threat. I don't know if they'll have just as bad of a season. They do have to face quite a few opponents on their schedule. They do have it is tough, but I think I do think that a healthy Deshaun Watson would very much benefit this team, even with their tough schedule. Now, looking at it, they do have to face a lot of tough opponents. Patriots, Titans twice, Jaguars twice, the Eagles. But they do have some levity. Playing against the Redskins, the Browns, and the Dolphins does help. Does help this team get some nice wins. And even playing against the Colts, I think they can get a couple of easy wins, per se. This team is a borderline playoff team. I think they're not good enough to win the division yet. I think that could be the Jaguars for some time. But I think they'll probably trade blows with the Titans. I think how they do against the Titans. If they sweep the Titans, they will make the playoffs. If it is a split, they probably have to win more the second matchup and try and keep try and keep up with them, win for win, and hopefully, not loss for loss. If they can do that, they probably will make the playoffs. Maybe as a 5th seed, 6th seed. Depends how they share the record with the rest of the AFC teams. I have their record. At low, it might be a 9-7 team with, and again, this is projecting that Deshaun Watson is going to be there at quarterback. Because if he isn't, Deshaun Watson list team is probably a 5-11, maybe 4-12. But with Deshaun Watson, I can definitely see a 9-7, borderline 10-6 team. He's a very talented quarterback, and outside some of the tough games against the Eagles, the Patriots, and the Jaguars, and Cowboys, I'll give you that, Cowboys. Other than that, they got a pretty decent schedule with some very winnable games. They have a bye week 10, which if they're for the first 9 games, say they go 6-3 or 5-4, that week 10 bye would help a nice playoff push. They have of the last 7 games, 4 of them are at home, especially 3 in a row against the Titans, the Browns, and the Colts, with only one of them being a primetime game. And that's a Monday night game, but luckily they'll still be at home. They have to play they also have to play the Browns and the Colts after that. But I think this is a nice schedule for them. It'll have some problems, but I full-heartedly believe this team can make it to the playoffs. Now, it all hinges on Deshaun Watson's performance. If he can still be that top quarterback that everyone fell in love with, this team is a playoff team. If he suffers a bit of a setback, he's not as mobile, or or an injury nag of some sort, then that does hurt the record a bit. It does hurt him when he go against teams like the Titans or the Patriots, and especially against the Jaguars, who have very talented edge rushers, or even the Colts, who have good edge rushers, the Cowboys too, and especially against the Eagles. But if Watson's still his same old self, I expect no less than the playoffs.